Hi, I'm Mana Moini, and you're listening to the Humanity Podcast. Hi, welcome back to the Humanity Podcast. I'm your host, Mana Moini. Here we are, Season 2. It feels so good to be back. I have so much to share with you this season. I took a few months off after the last season just to regroup, to make sure that I was still aligned with my purpose, and to think about how I wanted to elevate this podcast moving forward. And also, to be honest, it was a lot of emotions for many months. Being shown so much love from so many, and also being shown nothing from some of the people closest to me, had left me really emotional. What I began to realize throughout processing those feelings was something I think I always knew, but something that really became more apparent when I went on my break. And that was that I needed to be kinder to myself. Why didn't I feel like I was worthy of the support, the praise, the love? Why was I so critical of everything I had done? Being unkind to yourself is exhausting. Like my friend Maha Aboilanin says, the most important story you tell is the story you tell yourself. And let me just say, this story is one we don't often share with others. Many of us put up an image that we have so much confidence and we don't care and all of these things. The unkind battle is often a silent one. So I've been on a journey now for a few months, specifically of really changing how I speak to myself and being kinder to myself. And so I thought, why not bring you all on this journey with me and create a season where we would focus on how to be kinder to yourself. Only by being kind to ourselves can we fully self-actualize and be able to bring our best selves into our lives and relationships. So that's the focus this season. One thing I'm really excited about is the guests that are coming on this season. We're still going to have a community focus, but some of my guests are national in scope and have been paving the way with teaching self-help, being motivational speakers, and preaching authenticity and self-love for years now. And I am so excited for this community to hear their stories. As I've been preparing for the season, I was thinking about how do I show myself kindness today, and what changes have I made in my life that were signs of kindness? A few ways have come to mind that I wanted to share. Number one, putting yourself first is showing yourself kindness. You know, I get asked a lot about why I started this podcast, and sometimes I have trouble answering that question because it's almost like I feel like there has to be a right answer, and there doesn't. I started this podcast because I wanted to feel a sense of purpose. I wanted to feel like that I was doing something with my time that made an impact, but also something that fulfilled me. And hopefully something that I do or a conversation that I have will impact somebody's life in some way, big or small. That's why I created this podcast. And I mention this only because I think that it's okay to start things for a selfish reason. It's okay to love yourself and want to better yourself and want to spend your time doing something that fulfills you. Nobody should have to feel like that's not the right answer. How you spend your time and with whom is one of the highest forms of kindness you can show yourself. Number two, allowing yourself to feel your feelings is showing yourself kindness. I recently heard somebody say healing is saying that every version of me deserves love, not just the perfect one. And I think honestly, this is something that I work on daily to fully love and embrace all versions of myself. I was thinking about it, and one of my skills is honestly that I can pretend that I'm absolutely fine at all times. I remember one time I had a full-on panic attack. And within 10 minutes, I was able to gather myself back together and act like nothing had happened and go right into taping a friend's podcast and kill it. This is something I used to be proud of. But after many years of suppressing and invalidating my own feelings, I am now taking the time to show myself grace, taking a break when I need one, and saying no. How many of us are afraid to do so, to say no? I used to say yes all the time to plans, to people. I was willing to be uncomfortable to make everybody else happy and comfortable. Let me tell you, it's come with years of practice that I can now say no or politely decline something or someone without feeling guilty. Number 3, how you treat your mind and body is a form of kindness. In December 2021, I decided to do a cleanse. It was during the holidays, which is my birthday month, and between social stuff, parties, and work trips, I had drank almost every night for like 5 weeks straight. And I didn't feel good physically, let alone mentally. And with everything that I do, it's either 0 or 100. So I decided I was going to stop drinking for an entire year through 2022. My thought process was if I wake up sad every time I drink, I can cut out at least 52 days or basically 1 day a week of being sad by just not drinking. Those odds sounded awesome. And to be honest with you, at that point, I felt so icky that I knew I was going to do it. And I made sure to let everybody know that I was doing it so that I wouldn't let myself down. What I didn't realize is that that decision would change my life completely. I realized through the span of that year that I actually began to enjoy myself a lot more when I was out. I was able to be fully present. I knew when I was having fun versus when I wasn't. I knew if I had a great time on a date or if I didn't. And I was able to understand and take a step back when something would trigger me and try to dig a bit deeper to figure out why. Of course, there's all of the physical benefits that come along with not drinking, like reducing inflammation and bloating and all that other stuff. But at its core, I became a different person. My interests changed. I began to change how I showed up in the world. I started to dig into things I never thought I would. Like I started meditating and praying every day. I started making new friendships that filled my cup and who understood the new me. And some people might not have this kind of journey when they stop drinking, but for me, it truly allowed me to give my inner child the kindness of working on myself. Number 4, how you speak to yourself is a form of kindness. One of the things I've been practicing is having a pep talk. I call it my pep talk TED Talk, your elevator pitch that you would say to yourself to basically pep yourself up. So I challenge you, what is your pep talk TED Talk? We should all have one that we give to ourselves, especially on the days that we need it. The thing about a pep talk or repeating positive affirmations is that you begin to rewire your brain to think in that way. And the more you repeat it, you're more likely to go to that positive place in the moments where you need to show yourself kindness. Number 5, don't let society tell you how you should live your life. I'm going to be 40 years old in 2 months. Man, the way I envisioned my life at this age was so different. I thought I'd be married and have kids, be climbing the corporate ladder, have a house with a white picket fence. You name it. I envisioned what you're supposed to envision, what society tells you that you're supposed to envision. Everyone's path is different. Everyone's journey of self-love is different. There are many twists and turns, and they all build upon each other to build your story. I can honestly say that although I'm not exactly where I want to be, and I know I have so much more to learn, I like Mana. I am kind, I'm hardworking, I'm empathetic to a flaw. I'm imperfect, but I'm worthy. And I am loved. By finding myself and attracted in the same kind of energy, and by being kind to myself, I am setting the standard for my life and for my relationships. I leave you with this. I had been thinking about what I wanted to say on this episode for many weeks now. And to be honest with you, that all almost went out the door this morning when I found out that a dear friend's sister had passed unexpectedly. It just really hits at the core of something I've been thinking about a lot, which is life is so fragile, and we really never know what's going to happen. And at the end of the day, none of this matters except how you treat people and how people felt in your presence. The more we can enjoy the moment and the more we can show ourselves and others love and kindness, the better, because you just don't know what the next moment might bring. Sometimes this thought makes me want to call people I haven't talked to or are no longer in my life and just say hi. But I'm also a believer in that people come into your life for periods of time to teach you something and help you grow. I can honestly say that I look back on relationships or friendships that have ended and say, thank you, and I release it. At the end of the day, I wouldn't be who I am and know what I know without those people and experiences. So thank you. I made it through all of that without crying. I used to be ashamed of how easily I would cry. And now I think it's beautiful to be so in touch with my feelings that I can relate so easily to emotion. Humanity needs more of that. We are not robots. Let's feel our feelings and show our love and care. Thank you for being on this ride with me. Thank you for the kindness you've shown me. Let's build each other up. Humanity needs it. Season 2, here we go.